know, people like Mike Donilon took $4 million to lose every single swing state. Imagine how much people got paid that we don't know about.
Right. That's right.
Have you seen the report?
Have I?
Yeah.
Obviously not.
Like, do you know how big the pool is of people who have seen it?
No, I don't.
No.
Obviously, it would not.
So you don't have any DNC moles?
No.
No.
This is so interesting because I was part of the crafting the autopsy report with the RNC in 2012. Now, not to show my age, but I was a tiny little gal then. Okay, to think that I was read in, that I was one of the people that was allowed to give input, that says something. And that report got referenced a lot.
They didn't really follow that.
Okay, they didn't really follow it, but it was out. And I think this is shielding consultants. It's so bad. I mean, how can Democrats learn from 2024 if they won't even talk about it? And then you shield consultants. It just seems completely silly to me and putting their foot in their mouth again. Republicans at least said, hey, you know, we screwed up and we may not listen. But they had really young people like me giving input into that autopsy.
That Republican Party is gone.
You've brought this up.
Sure.
I do think that report is a great example of how little these reports actually matter.
Absolutely. It's true.
The party went
Actually,
when it became just sort of
it was like be nice to black and brown people, like queer people, be nice to women, and then Donald Trump was the nominee.
But it didn't get buried, is my point. It didn't get buried, and now that the Democrats are burying, it's distracting from all the gains that could be made right now.
And the bottom, like with this as well, look, I don't think voters care if there's an autopsy. Frankly, I don't think they care if the DNC even exists in the first place. But what they care about is that there is a party that is actually listening to them and delivering for them. And what concerns me about where Democrats are right now is it feels like we're in a race to the bottom where our message is, hey, guys, we aren't as bad as those other guys, so vote for us. We're asking people to vote for us because of who we aren't instead of who we are. And that's why we're doing this work. That's why I left the DNC to do this work in primaries, because the way that the Republican Party found their way to winning wasn't necessarily through an autopsy.
Absolutely.
It was a ruthlessly competitive primary that ended up bringing them to this point. Now, granted, I don't want Democrats to be in that same position, but the pathway forward is through having competition in our primaries and ensuring that we're getting people the best representation possible and getting people the message that the reason to vote for Democrats isn't because we're not Republicans, but it's because we are Democrats who actually make government work and that we deliver for you. And we're not going to be able to do that if we continue to act out of this politics of fear of, well, let's not upset this group. Let's not upset this group. When the reality is the one group we need to be most concerned about upsetting is the one that's talked least about in this conversation, which are the voters that are leaving us in droves.
And I think burying this autopsy report really continues to fuel the narrative that Democrats are still in denial.
Absolutely.
And avoiding blame.
Absolutely. And like right now, what I don't think people understand is that, especially when it comes to young people, their partisan interests are driven more than anything, not by party loyalty, but by frustration. The message